Imagine this, you're a farmer, living in Lintong County, Shanxi, China. The year is 1974, March. It's a dry season, your crops are thirsty, your family is thirsty, you need water. So, you and your buddies decide to dig a well. A perfectly ordinary act, done 1,000 times before. But this time was different. This time your shovel wasn't just hitting dirt and rock, it was about to strike history, hard, a subterranean secret, patiently waiting for centuries. At first there was confusion. What was this stuff? Fragments of pottery, weirdly shaped, almost like a person? Some thought it was an old kiln, or maybe ancient tombs best left undisturbed. But the pieces kept coming. A head here, a torso there. This wasn't just a few broken pots, this was something else. Something big, something organized, something military. Word got out, as important words tend to do. Local officials were alerted, then archaeologists. The careful, painstaking work of excavation began, unearthing not just statues, but an entire chapter of human history. The Terracotta Army. So who was this emperor? The guy who commissioned this unbelievable project. His name was Qin Shi Huang, pronounced Qin Shi Huang. He wasn't just any king, he was the first emperor of a unified China. Around 221 BCE, he brought together warring states, forged a nation, a monumental achievement. Think Alexander the Great, but with more bureaucracy. He standardized weights, measures, currency, even the width of cart axles. This guy didn't do things by halves. He was a visionary, a unifier, and let's be honest, a bit of a control freak. Qin Shi Huang wasn't just content with ruling a vast earthly empire. Oh no, he had bigger plans. Cosmic plans, you might say. He was obsessed with immortality, spent a fortune seeking the elixir of life. This terracotta army? It wasn't just a fancy tomb decoration, it was part of his meticulously planned afterlife kingdom. He intended to continue ruling even after shuffling off this mortal coil. The army was his eternal security detail, ready for any otherworldly threats. Consider the sheer audacity, the scale of this ambition, to command the creation of thousands of life-size soldiers, each one unique, each one ready for ethereal battle. This required immense resources. So, how do you make an army of over 8,000 unique clay soldiers? This was long before 3D printing, mind you. No CAD software, no robots. This was raw human ingenuity, skill, and a whole lot of clay. The process was surprisingly sophisticated, almost industrial. Think of it as an ancient assembly line, but for immortal warriors. It wasn't magic, it was meticulous, organized labor. They used a modular system. Clever, right? Torsos were mass-produced, legs, arms, hands too. These parts were made using molds but then customized. Heads were particularly special, each one seemingly unique, attached to the bodies, creating an illusion of individuality on a mass scale. The artisans weren't just laborers, they were artists. Each soldier a silent testament to their skill. The raw material was local yellow clay, abundant in the region. This clay was carefully prepared, sifted, mixed, aged, then molded, sculpted, and finally fired in kilns. Imagine the logistics, hauling tons of clay, stoking massive fires, coordinating thousands of workers. Section 4. Faces in the crowd, a universe of individuality. Here's the truly mind-blowing part, the faces. Among the thousands of warriors unearthed so far, no two are exactly alike. Seriously, go ahead, try to find a perfect duplicate. You'll be there a while. Each soldier has distinct facial features, different expressions. Some look stern, some thoughtful, some seem almost bored. Okay, maybe not bored, but definitely individual. It's an astonishing feat of artistry and observation, like a cosmic census of the Qin dynasty's military rendered in clay. The details are exquisite, intricate hairstyles tied in knots and braids, mustaches of varying styles, some bushy, some trim, ears, noses, eyes, all subtly different from one warrior to the next. This wasn't just about creating soldiers, it was about creating. Section 5. Silent sentinels, more than just statues. These weren't just meant to look pretty or imposing, these clay soldiers were kitted out for serious business. Many of them originally held real weapons, bronze weapons, swords, spears, halberds, and incredibly advanced crossbows. Some of these weapons, when discovered, were still astonishingly sharp, coated with chromium oxide, a preservation technique we thought was modern. Turns out the Qin dynasty was way ahead of the curve. Imagine the glint of bronze in the torchlight of that underground chamber, a silent but deadly welcome for any intruders. And the colors. This is something many people miss. When first unearthed, the warriors weren't the dusty terracotta hue we see today. They were painted, vibrantly, bright reds, greens, blues, purples, yellows. Their armor detailed, their robes patterned. It must have been a dazzling sight, a subterranean rainbow army. Unfortunately, exposure to air caused the ancient lacquer and pigments to flake off, quickly. Archaeologists now work frantically to preserve any remaining color. It's a race against time to save these fleeting ghosts of their original glory. Picture them, not as monochrome statues, but as a vivid, lifelike force. The army isn't just a random mob of clay dudes either. There's a clear hierarchy. Different types of soldiers, different roles. Section 6. Echoes from the Earth. What the warriors whisper. So, what do these silent sentinels tell us across the gulf of centuries? They speak volumes, if you know how to listen. About Qin Dynasty military organization, for instance. The formations they're arranged in. The types of units. It's like a three-dimensional textbook on ancient Chinese warfare. Historians can study their armor, their original weapons, their strategic deployment, learning how the first emperor conquered and controlled his vast domain. It's a direct line to the military might that forged a nation. No dusty scrolls here, just cold, hard clay facts. They whisper, or rather shout, about the incredible craftsmanship of the era. The sheer artistry involved in creating so many individualized figures, the technological prowess in firing such large clay objects without cracking, the metallurgical skills evident in the still sharp bronze weapons. This wasn't a primitive society, far from it. They were masters of logistics, production, and artistic expression. The warriors stand as a monument to a sophisticated civilization, one capable of mobilizing vast resources for a singular audacious goal, a civilization that could dream big and build even bigger. Of course, they tell us a lot about Qin Shi Huang himself, his immense power clearly. Section 7. A legacy in clay, the army marches on through time. Today, the Terracotta army is more than just an archaeological find. It's a global icon, a symbol of ancient China's power and mystery, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987. Deservedly so, millions of visitors flock to Xi'an each year. They come to gaze in wonder at these silent ranks, to feel that shiver down the spine, that connection to a distant past. It's a pilgrimage site for anyone interested in history, art, or just plain cool stuff. And let's be real, an army of 8,000 life-size statues is undeniably cool. The work isn't over, not by a long shot. Archaeologists believe that what we've seen so far is just a fraction. More pits are suspected, more warriors, more chariots, maybe even acrobats and officials. The emperor's main tomb, a massive mound nearby, remains unexcavated. Ancient texts speak of rivers of mercury and booby traps. Intriguing, right? The story of the Terracotta army is still being written. Each new discovery adds another piece to this colossal ancient puzzle. Science and patience uncovering secrets buried for millennia. Preserving this incredible find is a monumental challenge in itself.